No, I actually like Caitlyn. And I'm just being real and truthful. She has brought millions. I wouldn't be surprised if it's billions of eyes onto the W and onto women's sport.
Sophie Cunningham has never held back, and her most recent revelation about Caitlin Clark is startling the WNBA. You should also remember that she might be playing now if it weren't for the WNBA. Stop the rumors that you are departing or traveling overseas. Sophie just gave a straightforward explanation that goes beyond any injury report. What she disclosed demonstrates the relentless pressure, irrational expectations, and harsh realities that the must contend with the best player in the league. It's not about excitement, it's about survival. Sit down while we examine Sophie's shocking discovery and its ramifications. Sophie Cunningham's "the voice that won't shut up" has taken the more challenging path in a league where being truthful has a price and remaining silent is often rewarded. Sophie has made a name for herself as the most honest person in the WNBA, whereas most players follow prepared answers and use caution when spinning PR. In reality, she is paying for it. She received thousands of dollars from the league in 2024 alone for voicing what many players only whisper to themselves. It all started with a single remark on a TikTok post that questioned questionable officiating and deducted $500 from her pay. Or is it slow? Maybe it's useless. She subsequently lost an extra $1,500 as a result of a podcast article that disclosed conflicting demands. Will the WNBA penalize me? No, you were penalized for the initial episode. I received a $1,500 fine. What? I inquired. I believe that this is just the beginning. You're not serious, like. Additionally, when she ventured to accuse not even the penalty amount was disclosed in the league of overt partiality. With the hope that the message was clear, they just gave her another fine and moved on. Go play and stop talking. Sophie won't take part in that game though. She keeps talking. Because of this, she represents a significant threat to the status quo. Think about it, WNBA players typically make between $64,000 and $242,000 per year. A $1,500 fine is comparable. For many athletes, that means losing a portion of their off-season salary or 2 weeks' worth of rent. Nearly everyone would be silenced by such a monetary fine. However, Sophie persists, faces obstacles, and keeps supporters informed about the actual situation in the league. She is no longer merely an athlete venting her frustration after a challenging game. As a result, she has become the league's unofficial informant, a player willing to take consequences, criticism, as well as potential career setbacks, in order to reveal the truth. Additionally, the reason her voice is so her reputation makes her noteworthy. Fans understand that Sophie's remarks are more than just speculation or a last-ditch effort to attract attention. This is a first-person narrative from a grind worker. Her decision to keep speaking up in spite of the repercussions sets the stage for everything that follows. This is why her comments about Caitlin Clark are so important. Sophie is not fabricating a tale. She's exposing challenging information that the league would rather keep under wraps. You can't ignore her voice as a result of this. Sophie was hinting at pressure that wasn't expressed, or asserting that Clark is being suppressed by the league. Don't blink. The answer changes everything. The disclosure about Caitlin Clark, the most crucial query pertaining to the WNBA, has remained the same for several weeks. When is Caitlin Clark going to be back? Reporters have questioned league officials in an attempt to obtain a specific schedule. Players, coaches, and officials. Fans scan through updates every day, looking for clarification. But instead of precise responses, they have received vague statements. Day by day, we'll see next week. As of right now, there is no update. The silence has only encouraged speculation. Then Sophie Cunningham ruined it on her podcast. She uttered a single sentence that changed everything at once. It's also important to remember that if the WNBA hadn't, she may be playing now. The impact of their topic without any build-up or drama. Without the WNBA, she might be having fun. Utements resembled a thunderclap. They weren't the result of an outsider making assumptions from the sidelines, or a social media fan. They came from a league member who understands the harsh reality of what it takes to compete at this level. Caitlin Clark was more than surprised by Sophie's revelation. Millions of fans, T was worrisome. Think about what Sophie said. This is more than what Caitlin needs. For more time to recover from an injury, it has to do with the environment she's trying to get back to. Sophie was quite explicit. Caitlin's absence is not an indication of weakness or a lack of toughness. T is related to the WNBA's severe standards. Iowa, Caitlin excelled. She raised TV ratings to all-time highs, sold out venues, and drew record crowds. Highs as college basketball's public face. Her range, vision, and capacity to alter games made her a generational talent. Her own. Sophie revealed that those accomplishments don't always translate to the WNBA though. Here, you can't just be good. You have to be flawless. Additionally, if you are unprepared for a physical, the league will devour you, both intellectually and competitively. That was the startling discovery. Sophie wasn't making fun of Caitlin's skills. The majority of people were unwilling to learn the truth that she was disclosing. Even a celebrity such as Caitlin Clark needs more time to get used to the WNBA's demands. It's not an emotional problem, but a survival one. Sophie pointed out that Caitlin might already be playing somewhere else, highlighting how harsh this league has become. Whether she's overseas or even back in college, Caitlin might already be on the court, impressing onlookers. However, in this instance, the demands are so great that a hasty return could jeopardize her career as well as her season. Overall, this is why Sophie's comments were so powerful. She wasn't just offering admirers with updates, revealing a league that may be too harsh even for its brightest star. She was sounding the alarm. But if the WNBA treats a generational talent like Caitlin so harshly, what chance does anyone else have? Continue watching to find out. The cruel standards of the WNBA. Sophie Cunningham wasn't lying when she proposed that Caitlin Clark would be participating if it weren't in the WNBA. She was bringing attention to an issue that athletes face every night, but the majority of fans only notice the surface. The WNBA is more than just elite college basketball. It's an entirely different universe. Good is also insufficient in our universe. T was impossible to defeat Caitlin Clark at Iowa. Her skill, range, and vision made her unstoppable against college defenses. But the WNBA's defenders are quicker and more physically aggressive and more powerful. Each player on the court made use of to be the best athletes in her program. Every spot on the roster is owned by someone who battled for it through years of intense competition to succeed. Sophie made it very clear it's not enough to simply have talent for this degree. You have to be flawless. Her description of the league shocked fans. WNBA games can feel more like. Sophie prefers rugby to basketball. Touch is constant. The blows are stronger. Players openly talk about how they need armor in order to survive a season. Furthermore, fans are unaware of how much more contact officials permit of creating an environment that demands toughness. It is necessary. Imagine going back to that type of the phase after an injury, and most leagues, stars are cautiously reintroduced with more referees and time limits. Defense. But in the WNBA, there isn't much space for error. It is possible to prevent a return before it begins with a single mistake, a single hesitation, and the league's physicality. Sophie was revealing that severe standard. It's possible that Caitlin is already back on the floor abroad. If she were in college, she would probably be playing by now. But in the WNBA, rushing back carries far more risk than a few bad performances, re-injury, a drop in self-worth, or even losses in one's career. Here are the important details. No one was referring to Caitlin as soft. By Sophie. The complete opposite. She clarified that Caitlin's perseverance and work ethic are undeniable. She was highlighting the extreme aspects of the WNBA. The league is at its lowest point ever. From the starting five to the last bench spot, there is fierce competition. There is no weak link or simple matchup. Every possession is a battle, and every player has the power to expose even the smallest weakness. When Sophie said that Caitlin's absence isn't just about healing, she was alluding to the same reality. Caitlin isn't sitting out because she lacks heart, because it's a surefire formula to be less than completely prepared. She is sitting out for disaster in the contemporary WNBA. The league doesn't give players enough time to develop their rhythm. They risk being totally engulfed if they don't arrive prepared. Sophie's bombshell also centers on all around it. Rather than being just a personal struggle, Caitlyn's situation is a reflection of the league's growth. These days, even generational stars require more time to flourish in the extremely competitive, physically taxing, and ruthless WNBA. It's a strict requirement. Moreover, as Sophie pointed out, it might not even be sustainable. Favoritism and the two-tier system. Sophie Cunningham has never been one to bite her tongue. Moreover, her dissatisfaction with what she saw as a dangerous WNBA was the driving force behind her criticism of the league. Pattern as opposed to animosity. For her, the issue wasn't so much the strict specifications of the league because those requirements were applied unevenly. She argued that while some players were shielded and cushioned, others had to endure constant physical abuse without support from authorities. It is a two-tier structure, according to her description. The most evident example was during a furious altercation, when JCS Sheldon struck Caitlin Clark with a car and shot her in the face. T was irresponsible. Obvious, and it would have been easy to ignore Clark again. It wasn't nuanced. But the officials reduced it to tanning. Tidu after going over it to an obvious one. The kind of punishment more fitting for a careless bump than a possibly damaging blow. Not long after, Marina McBride shoved Clark with both hands, sending her sprawling to the ground. No attempt at the ball, no pretense of a basketball move, just a shove. And the response? No ejection, no serious consequences. When crew chief Ashley Gloss defended the decision, claiming it didn't qualify for an expulsion, Clark was by himself. It was precisely that inaction that Sophie had long cautioned against. She had already put herself in danger by publicly discussing what players and onlookers saw, both money and reputation. On her podcast, she discussed how officiating tainted games, recalling instances where some stars seemed to have been protected from harm, but others did not. She used Paige as an example. Whistles seemed to follow her everywhere that night, Buchers recalled. According to Sophie, you were actually unable to make contact with her. It wasn't a grudge against Paige's talent. Sophie respected that it is related to justice. Regarding the legitimacy of a league that claimed to respect but